Oh, hey, welcome to my channel, Safe Travel RV Upgrades, Tips and Tricks. I'm Big Al, and today I've got a trick for you. How many of you RVers out there have a TV like this attached to the side of your RV, but for whatever reason, you want to watch TV over there?
Hey, Big Al, you know the ball game comes on this afternoon. How about if we watch it up here?
Okay, we can do that, but first, I'm going to have to go back to my garage so I can show you how we can make that happen. Okay, so this is going to be a nice upgrade for anybody that has an outdoor TV mounted to their travel trailer, their fifth wheel, their Class C, their Class A. Any of those will allow you with this base stand to move your TV closer to the campfire, to a picnic table, just away from the RV. Now on my Class C, I've got this TV right here. It is a 15 by 25 12 volt TV. There's a mount on the back of it that will slide down into this base we're going to make, and also it slides into your RV mount too. What I did notice when I took it off was I got all the controls on the back of this TV that's hidden. If you see it right there, which is a nice feature if you left your remote inside for whatever reason. And then I just used a label maker and just made all my labels here so I know what button I was pressing. But anyway, I'm going to show you right now how to mount this TV to a base stand and move it wherever you want to. So this base is in two parts. One of the tricks on this base is that I use threaded inserts for the base. This allows you to reassemble it, take it apart, reassemble it, and still have a nice tight connection. For the base, it needs to be 9 by 15 by at least 1 inch thick. You can get something like a 2x8 piece of lumber, and that's 1.5 inches thick, make a good heavy base. You can use oak, piece of heavy oak. This is a plywood that I use right here, but basically you want your base to be heavy, and again, 9 inches by 15 inches by 1 inch. The upright right here is a pretty lightweight, cheap plywood. It's 10 inches wide at the base, and it tapers up to 6 inches right here, and it's 13 inches tall, 3/4 inch thick plywood. You could use something like a piece of pine. You could get a 1 by 6 by 13 pine board and use that. But you just have to adapt it to your TV. If you have the same TV that I have, these are the dimensions you want to use, and it'll work out perfect. Oh, the L brackets. These are just some type of a balanced curtain bracket here that I had laying around. You can use a regular L bracket. Just make sure that you through bolt it all the way through the wood and tighten it up really good in at least 2 places. And then you'll have your holes here to attach it to your TV base. The key to making all this work is this little guy right here. And I'll show you a picture of where I ordered it from, but this will allow you to slide your TV into this. It's the outdoor TV mount. It's essentially the same one that's in my RV over at Vogel, and it'll do the trick. All right, so now that we've done that and we've got it assembled, let's talk about our connections. First thing is getting 12 volts to this TV. We'll do that next. Okay, before we start talking about power requirements, let's talk about how I finished the base on this TV stand. I'm not pushing any kind of particular company or brand, but I do like to use this Kills Original. It's a good building up primer. It keeps any knots from bleeding through. It's easy to sand, it's cheap, and it works well for me. Then I just use any kind of paint of choice, make sure it's suitable for wood, a few coats of this, and you're good to go. All right, power requirements. What you need to do is look on the back of your TV. You may have to take this little bracket off and just tilt it to the side so you can see what your wattage requirements are. This is a 12 volt TV. and it requires 45 watts of power, okay? So I went online and I found this little guy, and I got a picture of that. But this actually will adjust your voltage, and based on your voltage, it'll give you your amperage. So this probably draws no more than 3 amps, but it's a 12 volt TV. So it's a DC 12 volts at 3 amps, and it's 45 watts. It works great. What you need to be concerned about is the polarity on this adapter, and I'm going to show you how to test that if you don't already know what it is. Okay, we're back at the RV. I'm going to show you how to take that stand we just made, this TV, and move it over there so we can watch the game. Most of these TVs are mounted in a little slip bracket, and to remove it, you just have to wiggle it and lift straight up. So you just get a good grip on it, rock it back and forth, and it'll come right off this mount. You swing it out, and you got 2 connections. You got your coax right here, and let me show you what I do here. I put on one of these little slip connectors. They're a lot easier to use. You can use them when you hook up to your campsite. You don't have to worry about cross threading. They just push on and pull off. I got a link on where I get those. And then you just unplug your DC power. All right, we're going to set this thing off to the side, and I'm going to show you how we test the polarity on the DC plug. So the first thing we wanted to do is check the polarity on this plug. And what that simply means is the outside the positive side, or is it inside the positive side? There's 2 ways to do it. You can use a voltmeter, ohm meter like that, or you can use a DC light tester like this. So first thing we're going to do is see if the center electrode is hot. So we stick that in there, and then I touch the ground, and the light comes on, so that I'm confirmed that the power is on the middle center connection here. Another way you guys can do it, if you have a voltmeter, you can test it with that in the center, and then you just touch this to a ground. And if you look right there, you see my voltage is 14.5. If these were switched, let's say the center was negative and the outside was positive, you would see that little black negative right there, so a negative 14.5 volts. So when I see that, I know that the outside would be positive on this. So that's a way to test it. But most people can pick up one of these really cheap, and they come in really handy for troubleshooting DC voltage issues on your RV. So I just recommend one of these. Just make sure you get a good ground on that, and you're good to go. All right, let's hook up the TV. All right, we got our base out here. We've gone ahead and hooked up our connections, our coax, and power. Brenda's dropping it into the stand. And that's it, folks. It's hooked up. Here's the TV. There's our RV. We're ready to watch some football.
Opportunity down here.
Yeah!
Get the results. Jermaine.
Yeah! Okay, guys, let's go wrap up this video on moving your TV closer to where the campfire is, or wherever you want to move it when you're camping. Make sure you subscribe and like our channel, because we got another great video coming up. Until next time, safe travel.